Oi, pra todo mundo. Tá aparecendo aqui. Eu não vou enrolar porque foi uma live de última hora. Não tava na minha agenda hoje, mas eu percebi que eu teria um tempinho livre, agora nessa parte da tarde aqui, que daria tranquilo pra continuar jogando, né? Então, eu decidi jogar o Great Ace Attorney pra tentar terminar o primeiro caso. Tá muito mais longo do que eu tava imaginando que seria. Então, sem muita enrolação, já vou começar. Parte 3, mano. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why is this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less. É claro. Ele é machista. É claro. The rule states that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Deprimente. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Eu espero que seja o copo. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something, written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. Okay. The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with this case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on the human subjects. Interesting. Curare? Curare, não sei como é que pronuncia. What's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. Desgraçado, não fala assim com ela. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. That is wonderful, thank you. Giselle report has been entered. Report detailing an unknown poison. Aha! Poison! Sabia. That Miss Brett has been researching during her time at UMA University. Goodbye then, and good luck. Ah, mas eu já vou olhar isso agora. Pera. We have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Ah, mas a gente pode. Um minuto. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since the ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Affects instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death. even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, special suffocation. Tá, então tem que ser entrado através de uma ferida. Ele tava com a boca aberta, né? Então, ele pode ter bebido e ainda ter feito esse efeito. Ok. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but the prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Oi, tudo bom? A gente tá aqui pra desmascarar uma desgraçada filha da puta. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer? It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until... droga, cortou. Forgive me, Miss Brett, but it seemed I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, eu te mando ficar aqui, desgraçada. I must ask you to treat that as an order. Isso. Figurante de Bridgerton. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. Para de ser xenofóbica. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Isso aqui. Tome. Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yumei University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare. Não sei se estou falando certo. Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. What? What? Complete and utter nonsense. The curare, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of its highly deadly poison. Começou a música dramática! What? Order, order, order! Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has been long used by the tribes people of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. Ai! É veneno brasileiro! It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. to lace their arrows. The report states that it is produced... Ah, Amazonian Jungle, é nóis, porra! É Brasil! A gente matou tecnicamente Ai, meu Deus, deu branco agora a palavra em português. Um veneno brasileiro matou um inglês no Japão! Yay! Que legal! Representatividade. The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Brasil número 1, porra! Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Spectre? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How horrible! How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effect could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. Nós somos paralisantes. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscle that control respiration to fail. Respiration. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. Caralho, que coisa horrorosa, que jeito horrível de morrer. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. Meu Deus, que horror. That's hideous. Concordo. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. Deixa eu dar um golinho de água, aproveitando a pausa. And you're suggesting that this bottle council, actually contains this terrifying poison? This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All of these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must be taught from my... Scorpy? Escrota. Babaca. Desgraçada. It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? Ah, sim, casual racism. Nice. What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the result as if you discovered them? I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act, wouldn't you agree? Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking rules. Risadinhas de escrota. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! Eu não sei fazer sotaque britânico fácil, então... She's drinking. Wait, what are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Calma, tem que entrar na corrente sangue. Tem que, tipo, entrar através de um machucado. Ela não tá com a boca machucada. O cara tava com a boca machucada. Então, tem que falar que pode ser só no outro copo, mas tudo bem, né? Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no curare. Tem sim! Tem sim! The bottle was clean. That's what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Eu tenho provas que ela tá enganando todo mundo. Eu tenho provas. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Eu tenho provas! This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make of interesting conversation at the next party I attended in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? Tem sim! But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have killed over that. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. The bottle of water. Tem sim! The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Fool, are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the courtroom somewhere. It has to be. Tem sim que eu li. Tem sim que eu li. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water escape? Aqui, ó. Poison entered the body through a wound. Será que eu posso usar isso? Pera. Deixa eu salvar só de precaução, porque eu já tô com 3 chances. Tá, vou apresentar isso então. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. That's not a valid explanation, no? After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter rubbish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Ah, ok. Pera, que eu não quero clicar errado. Aqui. Special characteristics. Through a wound, ok. Special characteristics. Aqui. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting this is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Ah, faz sentido, verdade. Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, counsel! No, that would be madness! But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. Tô me sentindo um pouco num diário de apotecária, achando, tipo, isso é por causa dessa porcaria de veneno. Por causa disso. A Namal com certeza ia querer tomar curare. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. Tommy, you meddling little... Vai surtar! Rapscallion! Well, Ryonosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Tô na faculdade, me respeita? Flaw? As even your brain has... Peraí. Só de curiosidade, deixa eu ver um negócio. Essa desgraçada só é um ano mais velha que eu. E tá me agindo assim? Se ferrar. And as even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. Seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers. What are they? So, this little poison is completely harmless when drunk. The professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ele tava com uma ferida aberta na boca assim. Ele tirou o dente. That's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order! Order in court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely, even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. Ela fez meio que uma Jojo pose, junto com o ganso. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's sort of a conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Ui! Bora!
Objection!
Aleluia! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallow the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Eu só não entendo por que ela mataria ele. Tipo, ele é o professor que veio junto com ela da Inglaterra. Não tem por que ela fazer isso. Mas tudo bem. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Só pra ter certeza que tá aqui. Record some kind of medical treatment. Entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction with the use of anesthesia. Ah lá. To head a tooth out. Yes, it sounds like just before went for lunch, Dr. Wilson. Exatamente. Ok. Eu já li. Ok? Enfim.
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the poor person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Tommy, Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Ih, tá surtando. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Eita porra, o que ela tá fazendo? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Como se isso daqui já não fosse, tipo, evidência suficiente que ela tá surtando, né? Que tipo, oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. Não, tem o copo ainda! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the courtroom. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift of the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Risadas de escrota. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump and bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in that bottle or not. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right, and really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is this little schoolboy. No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Yurionosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but You don't have a shred of evidence. Você tem um chapéu gigantesco, porra! Você guardou ali. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now... Is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Isso já devia ser coisa suficiente para prender ela. Ryunosuke, yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head. You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. To think back again, try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. Quase Natal significa que não era Natal. Sim! Ai. Every color. Vai, pensa. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same thing in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Think. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Ha! You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all of this. É o sangue, né? Isso aqui é sangue, eu acho. Deixa eu salvar, porque de novo eu tô com medo de fazer alguma cagadinha. Não, pera. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it? Ugh, he's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Or like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took the victim's table that day. Wait a minute. What are you going to... Okay. Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Professor Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. E a bala não atravessou. Eu lembro que a bala não atravessou, então... yes. For blood to have made into the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett? I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something accused has apparently just remembered seeing? This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. Boa! And I did it all in the name of justice. Boa, Hosonaga. Boa. Boa, Pingu. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there is a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! Golinho de água. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered, the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plates at your leisure. No blood. Calma lá. Calma lá. Tem foto só do prato? Tava querendo ver se era o mesmo formato de mordida. Parece ser, ok. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! Limparam a evidência, merda. I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. Droga, por que eles foram higiênicos? Por que eles limparam o sangue? Não, pera. O formato dessa carne tá diferente, eu acho. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Desgraçada. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Pose de Jojo. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Que horror! Ugh. I couldn't agree more in the case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceeding is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Droga. This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. É, posso mexer, verdade. Calma lá, calma lá, calma lá, calma lá. Hora de examinar. Calma. What the fuck? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is the Royer. Ah, aquele velho! A moeda dele aí. I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I believe it's very valuable. Nossa, isso deve estar fedendo muito, parando pra pensar. E passou uns dias já que o cara morreu. Ai, que nojo! Nossa, eu odeio carne que é, tipo, levemente mal... Nossa, eu odeio carne que tem um pouquinho de vermelho. Me dá uma ânsia de vômito genuína. Ai, que nojo. This is the first time today there's been talk about Koban. I've heard the pearls before the swine, but I've never heard of bullion before boil, and I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Tá. Tem mais alguma coisa? É o símbolo. This is the emblem of the sides of the plate. This is a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is a symbol of the La Carnaval, is it? Okay. Tá. Was the plate I thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now, I've lost. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Don't start believing. Believe in myself, really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Acabei de ver isso. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? Eu tenho. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any clues at all? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. The plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I am completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on the plate of beef steak is this new clue to be found? Aqui.
Got it!
Got it! Got it! Ah, merda. Merda, calma. Não! Calma. Calma. Ok. Ok, eu já vi isso. De novo, essa porra deve estar fedendo muito. Essa carne deve estar fedendo muito. Ahá!
Got it!
Pronto. Good gracious! That's... Koban? What on earth? Ahoy everyone! At that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tá envelhecida, pitaia, não podre. Eu não sei quanto tempo faz, na verdade, que rolou esse assassinato. É 22 de... Peraí. Vamos ver atrás de informação. Tem a data de quando ele morreu? Peraí. Faz 3 dias. 3 dias, mais ou menos, que isso rolou. Eu não sei se tinha geladeira. Não sei se tinha um jeito de, tipo, conservar, mas... Enfim. Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question! How should I know? A carne é sua, porra! Você que tava comendo! I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it. Definitivamente o suficiente pra carne ficar fedendo. É, pois é. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction. Pera, uma moeda de outra época. Como é que seria? Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just appears to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I will rip my tickets to the Great Britain right now. Calma lá, Kazuma. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I will give up my lawyer job right now. Calma lá, você não é advogado ainda. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person who can belong to. The owner of Koban underneath the stake is... Eu vou salvar, porque eu já errei, já errei demais. Muita vibe de vila de novela de época. Eu tô falando, ela veio diretamente de Bridgerton. Essa desgraçada. É a vilã da próxima temporada de Bridgerton. É a vilã do chocolate com pimenta. Daqui a pouco vai começar a tocar aquelas musiquinhas de chocolate com pimenta, de alma gêmea. A gente vai jogar ela no chiqueiro, igual é na novela. Eu vou progressivamente ficando cada vez mais puta com tipo, a pessoa que fez a cagada e a gente que tá se ferrando por isso. Enfim. Só pode ser esse.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasutei, Kyuryu Kurekata-san. Kyuri? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Escrota. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened, at exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoi Era Koban, my prize coin. Then this Hoi Era Koban, do you mean to tell me? No, please. Why would Korekata-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense. Exatamente, por isso que a gente tem que chamar ele. Which is why I'm asking to bring Korekuta-san back to the witness stand, so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here, without a moment's delay. I can't believe we've come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in their case. Legal que a mesinha aqui, que o negócio deu uma aumentada básica. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Idol? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasutei shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Korekuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasutei memory serves... What? Yes, that's it! The very exact one that is... The resplendent, splendiferous, holy treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Koei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconceivable thing? Excuse me? Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosanaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. La Carnaval is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So, unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Korekuta-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korekuta-san Koban. Só pode ser ele. Porque ela não sabia o que era a moeda. Ele estava trabalhando. A única pessoa que estava no restaurante naquele momento era ele, então... Ah, só de precaução.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iessa Nossa. What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief at La Carnaval, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Aido! Aido is the mastermind behind all this. Isso, taca seu bebê! Taca seu bebê! Meu Deus! Nossa! Tá todo mundo incrédulo. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nossa. Pois é, né? Tadinho do bebê. Ai, meu Deus, é meio Ratatouille isso? Ué! Caralho, é meio Ratatouille das ideias a situação. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Iessa Nossa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place, and I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through the good steak at the same time. Sounds like he doesn't bother with knife and fork even, which is whirling believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. Caralho, do nada, uma super crítica social foda. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring. Então, a carne é dele, não é a da mulher. Ok. When it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Idle too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Muitas e muitas reticências. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett? Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Calma lá que o pato não era dela. Pose de Gundam. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency? Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled servant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense it is? Oh, well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words that got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there's a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call now, it will be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett? What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Find a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And that's for picking up your steak and biting it without using a knife and fork. It's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What you said, there exposed an undeniable contradiction. What? I'm going to need to see the evidence, counsel. Calma. Calma lá que eu não entendi. Não entendi. Nossa, porque mostra o garfo e a faca e tá falando que não comeu com garfo e faca? Deve ser esse.
Take that!
The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred? What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was not on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking it up a steak and biting it without using knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. Selvagem comeu isso, oh céus! As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! Oh! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was... Ih, tá ficando tensa. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured. I've heard enough. Your irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady! What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implication these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Janovke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last it's all came together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain, as I know I saw somehow, seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. Except that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tell us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything! Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of that phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't even brought before the court yet. Hasn't been what? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist. Vai, Hosonaga, me mostra o prato verdadeiro. This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already. And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't. But there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve everything remaining mystery about this case. Vai, Hosonaga! Vai, Hosonaga! Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request to of the defense in this trial. Desculpa se essa conclusão... Hosonaga, eu não vou nem salvar. Tem que ser ele. The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nossas told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korekuta-san's coin, he told he slipped under the steak. You watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nossa. Could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put in the coin under, in fact, your own stake? Distinction? Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nossa's meal. But that makes no sense. The plate was taken from the victim's table. Yet a gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Ela tá dizendo como se ela fosse a porra da princesa da Inglaterra, né? Cacete. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not suggesting that the sergeant switched the two stakes over? You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. I was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what I had to be done. Unbelievable! E a bandana continua andando. However, fear not, prosecutor son. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That's all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes.
So, if Sergeant Nossa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial you told the court this. You said you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence you had taken both. Ah! Ih! Ih! Surto vindo! That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case. No, you're not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? Ugh. You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Bora! Ahá, tem o sangue! Tome! Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. O surto vindo! That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No! Ah! Tchau! Os pintinhos, que bonitinho! Por que você matou seu professor? Please, excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior from an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what exactly happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. Professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water, because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it seem as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you'd decided to come over and to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had a bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Tá, embaixo da saia podia ser embaixo do chapéu, mas tudo bem. Under your skirt? So I was right. There were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which had presumably placed on the floor. Place you were sure that I would notice. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you were bent down to pick it up, bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though, at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Dr. Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. Mas por que você fez isso, mulher? Isso que eu não tô entendendo. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Reticências. Reticências. Mais reticências. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me Naruhodo-san. Subiu. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement? This can't be. Taketsuchi Auchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. Ryonosuke Naruhodo. Yes? This insult to the Auchi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside to make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Ele vai usar a espada? Boa. Virou cacareca cabeludo. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Auchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Bom, considerando o pouco que eu joguei da trilogia original de Phoenix Wright, isso realmente acontece. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryonosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. This is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. Fofocas e intrigas. As for you, Ryonosuke Naruhodo, oh yes? In you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant Ryonosuke Naruhodo not guilty! Woohoo! This court is now adjourned. I can't believe it. I can't believe it what happened. I made it. I defended myself and made through that horrendous trial. Ryonosuke, You finally pulled it off. Quase falei congratulations. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on the Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for providing Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know? Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing what he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I will learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but what do you mean? Surely she's going to face the trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future, for Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why? Why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. What's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? Ela é da realeza, por acaso? Ela é tipo uma duquesa, uma porra assim? But then who? Who is going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. Pelo menos você tá livre. É frustrante, mas pelo menos Urionosuke está livre. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. The professor... You're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Urionosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnaval? As a head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're Detective Kosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnaval, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnaval's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Exato, eu tô tipo, por que você fez isso? Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do anything. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made a difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? Defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them all at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It makes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situation time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually. Acabou a música, ficou sério. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Ei, acabou o primeiro caso! Uhul! Vamos ver o início do episódio 2, mas eu não vou começar ele sério mesmo. Deixa eu ver o nome dos outros. The Adventure of Runaway Room, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro, The Adventure of Unspeakable Story. Ok, vou começar. Episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Vamos ver o comecinho e aí eu salvo e vou me embora para jantar.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Tá, a gente tava em novembro, não é janeiro, ok.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Steampunk!
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. And in cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Ai, ok. Eu vou salvar aqui. Vou salvar aqui e vou. Hum. Ai, ai. Então, gente, o que acharam? Caramba, esse primeiro caso é muito maior do que eu lembrava. Muito, muito, muito maior do que eu lembrava. Vou tentar começar a fazer as lives de Great Saturn mais cedo pra conseguir, tipo, progredir bem nos casos. Porque senão, nossa senhora, até 2026 não vai estar terminada essa gameplay. Foram, sei lá, foram quase 2 horas jogando. 2 horas praticamente. Então, sei lá, o primeiro caso tem umas 6 horas, mais ou menos. Os outros casos vão ser maiores ainda, então tem que preparar. Tem que preparar a garganta também, porque é muita leitura. Mas eu gosto muito desse jogo. E agora apareceu um dos meus personagens favoritos. Eu adoro Sholmes. Bom, enfim. Eu já vou indo, preciso pegar minha janta. E talvez, é um grandíssimo grande talvez amanhã dê tempo de eu fazer uma live extra surpresa de novo. Mas não garanto nada, eu aviso antes nas outras redes sociais, ok? Obrigada para quem viu e até a próxima. Tchau, tchau.